All right, about an hour later, took a 2 gallon, and I broke it down to just the main rhizomes here. So we had one, two, three, uh, four. This one actually was coming out of the side of the bucket, so it had a bunch of roots running all the way back to the main plant. So I just buried it and let it run over to here, and then I'll run a string from here to the trellis and ultimately disconnect it from that altogether. So with these 4 rhizomes here, I trimmed them down to just the main stalk. You can see this here. They had a couple other pretty hardy stalks running off of this one rhizome, but I read that to prompt the heaviest production, that you really just want to run with 1 per plant. So that's what I'm going with. I took the others here, like you could tell, this one right here, so that's the end. I chose it as the weakest one, and the ones that didn't have the ends broke off, like the very tip broke off to where it would continue to grow like upward. I took the end that I snipped and I buried it just to see if it would propagate. Don't really know if that'll work. I also took a couple other ones and put some growth hormone on the end, and then I took some others and just put it in a glass of water and set it in the window. So we'll see what works there. But what I did here was I took each and I put them on their own. So 1, 2, 3, and ran them up the trellis. And it turned out that this one was actually long enough to run all the way up and then out, and then run that up to our main runners to the top. So that should give us about, well, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. I mean, it'd be a good 25 feet of space from the ground, easy, to where it would max out there at the top. So that's kind of what we're shooting for with the Cascade. Now I know if we're going to bring in some Nugget or Zeus or something, which may or may not make it in this climate, that we'll need some more space, but this is what we're going to start with. So I've got, let's see if I can follow my finger here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that are running up, and they kind of look like they're tearing up until the longest one here. But at the you're playing with the ducks there, all right. So they'll run up here on this side and then run right across to the corner and all the way up to the top. So we'll see the duck go down the slide. So we'll see how that goes. That's step 1. I also got this one over here. So these were, again, just old trellis from last year that I didn't break down completely. I just stored exactly for this purpose. So I took one of the 1 gallons and put it in here, and again trimmed it up. I put it around some lemongrass and some, I don't know if I showed you guys, but these are all the marigolds, and those are supposed to keep away certain pests. And then we have, we had some shallots, which are going to keep other common pests away from hops, and we'll just have to throw some more down there. Again, I trimmed it down. This plant was much smaller, so it only made it to about a foot up the trellis, but once it climbs, it again, very slightly vertically, will come to our corner post here, and we'll meet up with our cucamelons, which we have growing in our plumeria, and have climbed up the side here. And this is what we had trellised up last year that just took over the whole canopy. So we'll have them meet up together, and they will follow these runners all the way up, and our blackberries are gonna take these runners. So that's the update. And these marigolds, I don't know if you know this, but marigolds are super easy to propagate. So we just grabbed them and stuck them everywhere. They do pretty well in the gutters, but when you put them in the ground, I mean, I'm not sure if you can, they are just unstoppable. They completely took over our strawberries. I know I'm going a little off track here, but we're letting the strawberries set runners this year, and hopefully we'll just have a mean bed packed full of strawberries that we can push out into either the gutters or into another garden bed. Okay, so back to the hops. That's the stage 1, and I've got another 2-gallon and a 1-gallon that we are going to put in this humongous planter here. I'll take the garbage out before I do that. To test if we can keep the roots cool enough to survive this Texas heat, and that'll be a good sample setting for us. So the tests here are let's see here. So that is east, and towards me is west. So the sample set is no morning sunlight, all afternoon sunlight, and well drained in a box. Then we've got morning sun over here, boop, morning sun, and full sun throughout the day, and a box that's relatively dry. And then we're gonna do full sun in the morning, shade in the evening, and not particularly well drained. So that should give us a pretty good sampling. Oh, and the potted, pretty good sampling of what the plants will do, at least the cascades. All right, so I'll check back with you in a bit and let you know how things are going.